It's time for the MCTS experience with Mr. Orfe and Mr. Nash. Discover your passion and unlock your future.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back and ready to roll for another exciting episode of the MCTS experience. Welcome, everybody. And I'd like to say hi first to my partner in crime, Mr. David Nash.
Hey, everybody. Spring is getting ready to, I'm not going to say it's sprung, but it's definitely buds on the trees. The air broke. It's getting warm.
Yes.
We're excited.
Birds chirping, smell of flowers in the air. It's lovely.
I always say, you blink it's Christmas, you blink it's spring break, you blink it's over. That's my line.
Yep.
That's my line.
Also, Nash, who are we forgetting?
Producer Nick, bro.
Come on. Nick MacGyver
He just look at him. He just grimaces, shakes his head, laughs.
The heart and soul of the entire operation. How are you, Mr. Sikowski? You got a mic in front of you. We could hear you if you just said, hey.
Dude, he just hit the button. He red buttoned you, Orfe.
He did. He pointed to the red button.
One day we will get him on the show. But either way, it makes it fun. Hey, we're excited. We got a lot of really cool stuff bubbling up, don't we?
A lot of good things. I'm gonna get right to that, actually, if you don't mind. Couple quick announcements before we get underway.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. April 8th. April 8th is a Friday night from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at our Assenpink Center.
Okay.
1085 Old Trenton Road.
Across from the college.
Across from the college. This is for parents, students, shared time, or academy movie night at the Assenpink Center.
How cool is that?
I love it. It's very, very exciting.
Beautiful campus.
A couple of these in the fall at the Cypex Center. Now we have one at the Assenpink Center. And students, you get to vote. So keep your eyes on your emails. You're going to have an opportunity to vote. Also look at our social media. Vote which movie you want to see. We want you to have a say in this. It's going to be great. Nash.
I'm excited to share. It is the season of sophomores, freshmen, juniors, and of course, seniors. Summer career-based opportunities. I've been blasting internships, the tremendous internships, sometimes for college level. I still encourage kids that are super driven and super passionate. If they see something, they should apply. Just because our programs of study are unusual and our guys and girls are taking college classes. But if you're share time, you're going trade-based, you're white collar, you're blue collar, you're entrepreneurial. We got something on the docket that I'm gonna email blast after this podcast. It's the Summer Youth Jobs Connections from Mercer County One Stop. Incredible pre-packaged program. In other words, you apply, they fill out a simple application online. You're going to see it in the link that we're going to email to you. And it unlocks you to various summer career positions if you're a sophomore, junior, senior, and maybe an older freshman. So all high school kids, it's an 8-week program. They provide a minimal $13.50 an hour, 8-week experience in careers.
All you got to do is get accepted to that program, and then they're going to hook you up with everything else, right?
They'll call you, talk to you about your location, your transportation, everything else. So in other words, moms and dads, if you don't want your kid watching YouTube, eating all the Costco food all summer, this is a no-brainer. And what we're hearing, and I'll end it with this, what we're hearing from employers, once a student wants to get an internship in a career area, they're saying to students, well, where have you worked? And kids are coming out, freshman, sophomore, junior, going, I've never worked. And employers are like, well, we don't want to teach your work ethic because you learn how to work at work. And work isn't being chained to a big rock and making it into small rocks. That's preconceived, and that's not true. So here's prepackaged ages 16 through 24. If you know somebody out of school that needs a jump start in a career, they can apply too. But if you're 16 and older, so if you're an older sophomore, scratch the freshman, unless you're a 16-year-old freshman, it's possible. You never know. And this is a great program. Plus, you of course, you got Great Adventure, and you got all the grocery stores and Dunkin' Donuts. Turnkey, and I'm working with all the share time programs, getting them plugged in for juniors and seniors.
Nash is our guy that gets you out there working. Go ahead and check it out at One Stop's website. Just Google that. Google Summer Youth Jobs Connection.
And we're going to email it too. It's getting an email blast too.
All the students coming to you via email. Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Nash. Next, you probably know this already. I'm sure the kids are counting the days, but spring break, April 15th to April 22nd.
Very exciting.
We don't want to see you here. We want you to stay home or go out of town, go have some fun, get out there and enjoy the fresh air. What's next, Nash? Skills. Give us a skills update.
So Skills USA, we've already had 2 competitions fire off. Diesel gentlemen, and maybe, now there's no ladies in the diesel program as of right now, but there has been tremendous success. So diesel and commercial baking is this weekend. And then we're going to have our electricians and our commercial art. And of course, we had our culinary experience on 31st of March. Next week, we're going to host that here. Okay. So Skills, which is almost like our fraternity, like an FFA, an FBLA, a DECA, a host. So these are all student organization high schools. Skills USA is what we do here, and it's firing off.
Are we doing MRE challenge in our
Yes,
Skills
we are.
USA?
Yes, we are. Yes, we
I
are.
love it. I love it.
That's a green light. That'll be here on the 31st. MRE stands for Meal Ready to Eat, if you're unaware of that, what that means. And that is a special contest created in 2015 by our very own Chef Engel, partnering with the Army, because the Army supplies the soldiers with MREs, Meals Ready to Eat, out in the field.
Yeah.
And it's a culinary contest where the kids have to make something delicious and delectable by unpacking the MREs, and then it's so cool.
And soldiers come and they judge, right?
Yes.
They're tasting the food. They're looking at. We got schools from all over the state.
Absolutely,
I love it.
It's so cool.
Very, very cool. And I also like to mention prom. Prom is coming up May 14th. You need to buy your tickets now, though. Okay, a lot of times you hear me come on here and talk about enrollment and say apply now, and then you apply and it's too late. The program's full. Prom is working the same way. Okay, May 14th. Go see Mr. Ragusa.
Big Ragu.
The Big Ragu, Carmine Ragusa. No, he's not
Laverne
Carmine.
and Shirley reference. For those of you who know what that means. Laverne and Shirley.
Another timely reference from Orfe and Nash, the old men. Yes. So see Mr. Ragusa. He works on both campuses. So
he's awesome too.
There's no way you're going to miss him. That's open to shared time students as well as academy students. And that's going to happen at the Windsor Ballroom in East Windsor.
Okay, that sounds fun.
It's a classy joint. It's very nice.
Listen, you gotta be dressed to the nines to handle the Windsor Ballroom, ladies and gentlemen. So come on out.
If you can't find the Big Ragu, we also got tickets on the website. You can just go to mcts.edu.
But I go to the Big Ragu.
I just like him. I like to talk to him. He's a good
he's
guy.
He's personable.
He's fun. You know.
Plus, he's got great stories. You know, he's like almost he's a vet or a vet tech. He's super knowledgeable with animals.
Yep.
Little fun side note.
Smart man. Master's degree.
Yeah, well,
all right. Last, but certainly not least, just a fun little announcement that we're all going to, this impacts the three of us, gentlemen. Coming soon, video podcast of the MCTS experience.
We're going to have a full
kidding.
Studio.
Yep. You're going to see our big, gigantic pumpkin heads, Nash, on video.
There's no escape for producer Nick now.
Producer Nick? Nope.
Oh, he's going to be behind the wall.
We can't have you behind. All right, well, you know what we might do? I might jump out behind that desk and film the camera right on you. Yes. All right, this is great. A couple of great guests coming up. We've got a magical student of the week as well as featured guest. So stay with us. We'll be right back. And now it's time for Student of the Week. Welcome back, everybody. We are thrilled to have a very special guest with us, Hopewell High School senior, Rowan Short. Welcome, Rowan.
Hi, Mr. Orfe. Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you here. Mr. Nash is also here with us, of course.
This is a powerful young man, listeners, as we will unpack and unfold.
Yeah.
I've been around the MCTS family for 33 years and been working with the District 22. I've never seen a student of this caliber with this background, and I can't wait for him to share his story.
Rowan's a great example of what you can do with a CTE high school program, and also just about choices. And I'll tell you a little story about Rowan in a few minutes. But first, Rowan, let's get the good news out there. Tell us about the school you got accepted to and what's going to happen, what the place is all about.
So recently, I've been accepted into a fine arts school in Boston called the North Bennett Street School, and they were the first trade school ever made in America.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an insanely selective school, so I'm very lucky to have been selected to go there.
Mm-hmm.
They have it's not the typical trades such as mechanics or welding. Mm-hmm. It's more fine arts. So there's bookbinding, there's leather work, there's violin making and repair, there's all this kinds of stuff. And I mean, that's just always been more of my interest.
Now you're in our carpentry program, in the second year of the carpentry program.
Yes.
Tell me which of those programs you're going to go into, or do you not know yet? Do you focus on all of them?
Well, right now, next year, the plan is to focus on carpentry. That's the program I'm going to be taking next year. And that's the one I got into.
Okay. Excellent.
This school, I've heard of this school.
Yeah.
I've never had the pleasure of knowing a student that could, for lack of a better term, be proficient and have a drive to attend a learning institution of this caliber. I mean, this is the Harvard of trade schools.
Yeah.
And what's so fascinating is Mr. Nace, our carpentry instructor, is unbelievably gifted at working with students, figuring out where the student is and then empowering the student. And Rowan, you were a clear example of that. So how did you end up at Mr. Nace's class? Because there may be a parent, a friend, a student, a person listening to this that it's like, hey, that sounds really cool. Like, I'd like to go to a fine arts carpentry school, but it's about your 9th and 10th grade decisions that led to your post-secondary life, your 18 to 24-year-old life.
So honestly, one day my school had an assembly and Mr. Orfe was the one leading the assembly and told us all about Votech.
Did you pay Orfe $20 to say that? Did you pay Orfe?
I paid him $20 to say it. Wait, before this isn't about me though. This is about Rowan, and I want to just point out, you also visited our criminalistics program.
I did,
and got accepted there. And there was talk you were maybe thinking about going to law school. Mm-hmm. And I, if you don't mind me getting personal, you had mentioned your grandfather. You used to do carpentry and woodworking and stuff with your grandfather?
Yes. So, my grandfather worked as an appliance repairman. He would do house calls, repairing microwaves, refrigerators, stuff around the house. Mm-hmm. And he taught my dad a lot about woodworking when he was a kid, when my dad was a child. So my dad passed that on to me.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
so cool.
Dad was a connection.
So Orfe comes in, there's an assembly. They're like, hey, everybody come on down. It was all the 10th graders. And what was that like? And reflect back on that.
So honestly, at the time, I was not doing well in Hopewell, and I really didn't like the setting where I was at. And I was actually looking at moving to Notre Dame, the Catholic school in Lawrenceville. And then there was this presentation, and I've always had this interest in like working with my hands. And when Mr. Orfe brought up the fact that I could miss school for half the day to go do like something I love, like a trade, I jumped at the opportunity immediately.
Again, it's almost like a freight train of opportunity coming down, and you're running next to it, and you jumped into the boxcar.
And don't think of it as missing school for half the day. Think of it as
I'm learning,
going to school. Something you're interested in.
Yeah, your electives. Instead of picking electives that you're lukewarm about, you got to select an elective that is super targeted to what makes your heart beat fast, and that's really the essence of CTE.
Yeah,
and that's how I view it too. I didn't mean it as like skipping school.
No, not at all. It's what we love to hear about each one of these stories. Each story that we hear from a student like yourself is unique. And that unique story can resonate with a family member, a student, a guidance counselor, anyone listening to these podcasts. And that's what we really want to do, because people have preconceived notions of what our school's about. And it's so wrong. It's really different than what it once was.
Yeah, absolutely. And moreover, it sounds like you've still very much been a part of the Hopewell High School community.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm still friends with everyone that I was friends with there originally. I played hockey for a few years in school, and that didn't go away because of Votech or work. I'm still very much part of the Hopewell community.
Good.
All right. So here's the neat part. So it's a 2-year share time program. You go to the assembly, you apply, you check out 2 programs, you settle in on this one. Mr. Nace uploads you with the solid foundation to be a functioning apprentice. I come in the spring, like I always do, to all the first year classes and say, hey, everybody, you spent 6-7 months with us. Let's get you plugged into a career area of study in the summer, not a job. Job stands for just over broke. That's one of my catchphrases. But when you're coming to a school, whether it be you're studying graphic arts or carpentry or automotive, let's get working junior summer to senior year in that career area, not in an entry level thing, but more of an apprenticeship style relationship. And you found a builder that you did that with. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Over the summer, I worked with a new construction company, just making house developments all around central Jersey.
It was awesome. And the guy was Hopewell based. He reached out to the school, which often happens. You know, like I receive an email or I get a phone call and initiates a conversation. Rowan bubbled up, resonated to me. And Tim is his name. He's the owner of the business. Yes. What's the name of the company? Give him a shout out.
The name is TJC.
TJC. So it's a new home builder. He bought a tract of land in Ewing. You build a bunch of houses, and when I say a bunch of houses, 5 houses on a piece of farmland. I would come see you in the summer and when school started out, but then you had a calling on your heart and take people through, because after the summer you came back to Mr. Nace's class and you had an opportunity to go on a work program. But then what started welling up within you? So
at TJC, my background has always been more the physical work with wood, making the houses. At TJC, I was doing punch lists of stuff that had nothing to do with what I was interested in.
Okay.
I wanted to frame. I wanted to build houses. I wanted to build things out of wood. That was my goal. And at TJC, I was not having any opportunity like that at all.
Okay. But the cool part was you were exposed to a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
And it was a positive experience and it was great. But I can remember the day when I saw Rowan. He's like, Mr. Nash, this is a good company. And this is okay, but I want to do something different. And I want to work for a builder. And then I said,
you found that now. He's doing that now.
Well, that's the cool part is. And so once I saw, and again, it's not about me or about the school or the staff here. It's about when a student is able to convey their heart and their passion to us, because we're right there alongside of you. I always say you're the NFL athlete or the singer or the pro golfer or baseball player, and the analogies can go on and on. I'm your agent. And you just need to tell me what you're interested in and what's going to make your heart beat fast. And then I'm going to go through hundreds of names and companies and people. And once you demonstrated your proficiency, and moms and dads, guidance counselors, students, Rowan jumped in, swam in the trade. You had mentors, people were with you. It's not like you were by yourself, but you were able to come back to me and be like, hey, I did this and this was okay. I learned a lot, but I want to do this. And this was, I want to work for a high-end builder in Princeton. I want to work on unique houses. I want to work on historical stuff. And now that switched the game differently because you earned it. You went out and showed that you could be plugged into this environment. So then we came up with a short list, and there's probably about 3 builders that can work on Library Place. And if you want to see the houses on Library Place, go to Google and you'll see homes that are beautiful and unique. And that's what you were drawn to. And
absolutely.
So who was the builder that you called and you set up an interview and things unlocked?
I called Baxter Construction. They're right on Broad Street in Hopewell.
Okay. And Baxter is, anybody that knows this, and if you don't know this, Baxter is a premier. There's more than one premier builders.
Can I use the word fancy?
Yes.
It's fancy stuff.
It's high end. And it could be modern. It could be antique. And what's the coolest project you worked on with Baxter so far?
I would say the Morven Mansion. That was really cool. We got to repair the exterior trim around the Morven Mansion, which was the original home to the first governor of New Jersey.
Wow.
Dude, powerful.
That's amazing.
And the history that's in there. And it's neat. When we were walking over here to do this, you told me you want to do historical restoration and you want to get plugged in. And it's just so cool. So again, the snapshot is you went out, you tried what a very typical broad brush, wide brush builder would do. And you're like, hey, I did that, but I really think I want to do this. And because of your proficiency, because you stepped up every day, day in and out. And Tim was great. He's like, hey, that's awesome. You do you. Your former boss was like, you need to go and follow what you want to pursue. And that's the relationships that we have with the employers that hire our students.
And the principles that you learned there are going to be applicable to a lot of other things going forward and vice versa, right?
Absolutely.
You've had kind of a crash course in all of this stuff between like deep immersion, NACE, the summer job at TJC, now Baxter, and now you're going to go off to North Bennett Street School and hone those skills even more.
We make you promise one thing, and we won't let you out of this room until you sign this document. And I'm kidding. There's no document that you have to come back and give us an update. The interview's not over, but that's what we say when a student gets an incredible opportunity like this. Come on back, because we want to see how this thing turns out. We can do a follow-up. I mean, this is really powerful. I've been here 22 years in the role that I'm in, classroom and helping students and everything.
Yeah.
I just never seen a carpentry student do this before. And that's powerful. That's a testimony that CTE is changing career and tech ed. VOTech is jean jackets and mullets. CTE is opportunities like Rowan Short, 100%.
Thank you.
Nicely done, Rowan Short. Ladies and gentlemen, special guest Rowan Short. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, you, come here. Check it out. They're in our school. They're in our community. They're around the corner. Welcome, our featured guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very, very excited to introduce you all to a very special young man. Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Kiet Maloney. Hello.
Hi, I'm Kiet Maloney.
Dude, that's awesome.
Kiet's a senior also from Hopewell High School, also a senior. But check this out. So first, tell us about your recent athletic accomplishment, the team that you're on.
So I am on the men's junior national team for field hockey, and we just played Canada last weekend, and it was a fun time playing the Canadians.
You've been to Richmond, Virginia, as well as Pennsylvania to play in these international events against other countries and other regions of the United States. Being on the men's junior national team is no small accomplishment. This is like a segue to the Olympics.
Right. It was it's just amazing to be on the junior national team.
Yes. Did you? So, little known fact, Mr. Nash, Mr. McGyver-Sikowski. So, Kiet has been in our country.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you how long he's been.
Please go ahead.
All his life.
You would think that because he is such an incredible student, and so personable, and speaks English better than you and I, Nash.
Yes.
He's been living here for 2 years.
Come on, Orfe, is this? Listen, I'm walking into this thing ice cold. Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding, right?
Wow,
Kiet,
that's incredible.
Am I blowing smoke or am I real?
You're being for real. It's tough.
So all right. So what country were you originally from?
So I'm from Vietnam and moved here 4 or 5 years ago.
Wow.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. And he has been at Hopewell High School. I met Kiet and his father when he was a sophomore, and they were looking for some program, some educational program where he could do hands-on. He's a fantastic artist, and he is about to finish our graphic arts program. Yes?
Yes, sir.
How do you like that class, Kiet?
Is amazing, like how I can really draw on a computer and learn new things.
Expand your mind just in a way. I've heard this said by so many students that you love to create, but here you learn a whole new medium with Mrs. Perlman. What's Mrs. Perlman like?
She's an amazing teacher. She helps everyone that needs help. She's just really good teacher, and she helps us be more creative on the computers.
That's awesome.
Really, really cool. Yeah, you are just a great example of what you can do with hard work.
So you're an athlete, you're an artist, you're a very proficient, intelligent human being to drop into a completely different culture, absorb it, and now be executing at very high levels. Like this is no small feat. Oh, sidebar, just a little known fact. More you gonna? But
I'm
wait,
gonna give
there's
you more about this kid. He's on the wrestling team. You're on the varsity wrestling team at Hopewell as well.
That's correct. First of all, I did not know what wrestling was until I got recruited to wrestle, and
Stop.
I was
for real.
Yes, sir.
So when the coach sees you walking down the hallway one day, you're like, "Hey, you want to wrestle? How'd that go?"
I don't know. I guess the coach is like, "Hey, I need this guy," because they needed a low weight class, and I'm a very small kid, and
and you could wrestle, obviously,
right? And I also love working hard.
There it is, right there. The American dream, right there. I love working hard.
Had you played field hockey before coming here?
No, I did not.
So all right. Again, wrestling is an incredibly intense physical sport. Field hockey is an intense sport.
No experience in either medium.
This is what makes you such an amazing student. Seriously,
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. You've earned this. I mean, this is an incredible story of opportunity, hard work, dedication. What was it like the first time you wrestled?
It was terrible. I was exhausted. I did not know why did I even
why did I sign up for
this? I was like, but I just don't give up. I just keep going. I just hey, I got this. I just gotta keep going.
That's cool.
I can't give up.
Did you win some matches?
Yes, I did, and I felt amazing.
Yeah,
dude, there it is. That's the adrenaline right there, brother. That's it. You know what? That should be a slogan for MCTS students. I thought to myself, why did I do this? But then I began to get some wins, and wins could mean getting decent in the software that you're working with, learning how to cut a piece of wood straight. And the list goes on and on, changing your first oil, doing your first cosmetology. But you get addicted to that sensation of learning and becoming activated and aware. I mean, that's really a testimony to who you are in all facets of your life.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just thrilled that you're here with us and we get to call you a graduate of our shared time programs. It's awesome. You mentioned next year you're going to be going to Mercer.
Right. So I will go to Mercer County to get some college experience and also focus on gaining weight for college wrestling.
And then you're going to transfer to a 4-year school and you want to wrestle in college.
You're going to keep strength building?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Get big giant muscles like Mr. Orfe.
So what class do you want to hope to wrestle in college?
125 because that's the lowest weight class
in college.
Right, in college.
Now I notice on the on your right sleeve there's a number 106. That's your
That's the lowest weight class in high school.
And that's what you wrestled this past year?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. So we got some cheeseburgers to eat.
You know what's kind of cool is we're going to connect all the dots. So our carpentry instructor at Assenpink, Mr. Nace, is a very, very high caliber wrestler. Mr. Nace has been with us for a long time, but when he was in high school, and again, we'll ask Mr. Nace. I think he was ranked number 3 in the state, number 1 in the state. Went to college, wrestled in college, coaches wrestling. His sons wrestled. His sons 3 wrestle. They all wrestled in
100 and Central. Yeah.
Yeah. 100 and Central. And the one's wrestling for Lehigh in Stroudsburg, PA.
Yeah. You got to meet Mr. Nace.
I would love to meet him.
We'll get you over there to meet him.
We got to get Nace over here.
Don't wrestle him.
No,
just meet him.
He's still, and Nace is, we're going to make that happen. When next time we do a thing, we'll come up here and, man, it's so cool.
Very exciting.
All right. So we'll connect those dots. Mr. Nace, he's our carpentry teacher. He's Rowan. You know, Rowan Short. He also goes to Hopewell. You saw him as we were coming in here. The guy that was right out here in the shop, Rowan. He saw you, and that's his teacher. So how cool is that? We got a super gifted wrestler.
Very small world. This is really exciting. It's so nice to talk with you, and we're just very happy for you. We want to say congratulations to you on all your success, and keep up the good work. All right.
We're going to definitely do an update. We're going to do an update. You going to come back and do an update with us?
Sure. And Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
And your time.
Awesome job.
You did a fantastic job. Kiet was a little nervous about doing this, and
who isn't?
Like everything else, you knocked the ball out of the park. So good work. Just
another declaration of the caliber of talent MCTS is, farming and growing, and not only it's drop your son or daughter here, and amazing things happen because our learning style is so unique.
Yep,
and it's wonderful.
Really cool. Congratulations, Kiet Maloney.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. This brings us to the end of another exciting episode of the MCTS Experience. We learned, we grew, we got to know a couple of students. We laughed, we cried. It became a part of us. We united.
With our guests, student of the week and featured guests.
Oh my gosh.
Mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing. Big thanks, by the way, to Rowan Short as well as Kiet Maloney. 2 accomplished students, great kids, and a great example of what you can do inside of the MCTS organization as well as outside of it.
It just goes to show when a guy or girl signs up here and we start to peel back the layer of who these students are.
Yeah.
You get blown away. And that's just 2.
Oh my God.
We could literally interview kids nonstop on this campus.
We could do this for the rest of the next 2 years, kid after kid after kid. They've all got a story like that, and we love it. And we're going to keep bringing it to you.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I would like to just take a moment to remind everyone to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Pinterest. Go to our YouTube channel, please. All kinds of cool videos and more coming up soon. From the team. A lot more
content brewing in the future.
Yes, stay tuned for more MCTS Experience audio podcasts as well as the video podcast coming soon to a headphone near you.
A computer screen, headphone
and computer screen. Phone.
Handheld device. Plus
wherever you get your video podcasts.
We're hoping to launch this new concept picnic somewhere around the infamous MCTS SciPac picnic end of the year.
I cannot wait. It's the happiest day of the year.
I'll tell you right now, that is a tradition that is easily 50 plus years old.
Yes.
I mean, I remember my picnic when I went here as a kid.
Dunk tank.
Producer Nick shook his head. I was in the dunk tank back in the early 2000s.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Oh, good for you.
You were in the dunk tank too? Producer Nicky was
as a staff member or a student, you were in the dunk tank? Staff member, he's saying. All right, very good.
Palm's been in the dunk tank.
Mr. Palm goes in there a lot. I think Mr. Palm likes it.
Chef Engel?
No
Mr.
way.
Gagner? Oh, yeah.
Chef Engel went in the dunk tank?
100%.
Did somebody dunk him? Did they hit the
throwing
thing?
heaters. Kids...
Chef Engel's up there. We hire the baseball players to come and hit that target.
I love it.
Yes. So any final thoughts, Nash, before we wrap it up here?
I just love the fact that it's this time of the year where they've absorbed since September. You come here whether you're a freshman in academy, a sophomore, junior, senior, or you're a share time student, and you've absorbed so much information, and now we're starting to see guys and girls tread into summer internship, paid internships, of course.
Yep.
They're activating in their career area of study. It's not a job. Job stands for just over broke. Jobs are necessary, but here we like to connect people to careers. because then they further unlock who they are. And that's what we're saying.
We're kind of that bridge between a job and a career. When you're 15, 16, it's a job, but now we're starting to move these
16,
kids
17, 18. Now we're getting into entry-level career-based
employment with
upward mobility. Dude, that's what you're bro, right? So no, that's
awesome.
That's what I'm excited for.
Go see my friend Mr. Nash about all of those opportunities, as well as talk to your teachers, shared time students or academy students. Talk to your teachers.
It's powerful.
They got a lot of connections too. I would be remiss if I didn't say a big thank you to Nick MacGyver-Sikowski, the man who keeps it all together. Please keep listening to this podcast. Share it with a friend and like it and rate us. You can rate us on iTunes. If you don't give us what's the maximum 5-star rating, thank you, Mr. Sikowski. I'm going to be very disappointed. That's it. We hope to see you next time on the MCTS Experience. Until then, this is Mr. Orfe on behalf of myself, Mr. Nash, my partner in crime, and the great Nick MacGyver-Sikowski, reminding you to discover your passion
and unlock your future.